mosquitoes. Rayman! Getting seen by Mr. Dark in the background. His binoculars will show us the way. So this is Rayman. This is a game about saving Batilla from the evil Mr. Dark and saving the great Protoon from Mr. Dark. It's pretty colorful for a 1995 game. So much creativity. So much happiness. But then you see it rears its ugly head as enemies spawn out of nowhere. Vine boosts, because they're faster than walking. Oh man, and now they're spawning in front of me. I have no powers, except the power to walk forward, climb on vines. Not even the power to punch will save me from this madness. Oh wait, Batilla here will come and save the day. She says hi to me, that she's Batilla the Fair. She's going to help me in my quest. She's going to give me a new power. This is the power to punch, and power to punch is a pretty important power. As you would imagine, it'll allow me to punch these plums. I guess you wouldn't imagine that, but you would imagine that I'm gonna be able to do things such as I don't know, break these cages. Maybe you thought about that. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. You also get the power to hit enemies with your fist. Holy moly! I can't believe you thought of that one. And we need all these cages. This run is, yes, it is a 100% run, technically, but in reality, this is the only way to beat the game. So it's an 90% run, and it's basically the only main category there is. We need 6 in each area of the game. This specific screen out of Plant Woods has the 3 we can actually get. The other 3 are in a screen where we didn't have punch at all, and we couldn't get up there to even get it in the first place. So we're going to come back here once we get the power to run. And I haven't talked about the other powers. We get the power to run, we get the power to double jump. Kappa. We get the power to, grab rings. You haven't seen a ring yet, but you will soon. In like 20 minutes. Oh nice, Hunter Jump. We get the power to hover with our hair, and then we get the power to run, finally. That's about like, at the end of Mr. Stone Peak, so that's 37 minutes into the run, about, a little over, if I was doing the best. So now we have the first boss, Bzzzt. A little bit of a character. We want him to get as close to the middle, top middle as possible, because that's when he starts moving out to do his next attack. So I actually want to hit him so that he moves diagonally, because that's slightly faster than him, like, hitting him immediately. And yeah, he can dodge you on the last hit, but I'm too good for him. Now we have befriended our pal, the mosquito. These things bit my leg for far too long, but as Rayman wills, he's now helping us go over a ravine of water, because Rayman can't swim. In every other game, he learns to swim, and he actually gets kind of like better at swimming over time. By Rayman 3, he doesn't even need oxygen to live. Rayman 1, he basically doggy paddles. Rayman 2, I mean. Rayman 3, he can do somersaults underwater and helicopter to speed himself up. So this auto scroll actually has a couple points that I didn't point out. But as you saw me lurch back there and then move forward, that's actually because the slowdown the triggers that slow and speed up them are actually dependent on your position. They trigger on your position and not the camera's position. So I'm actually moving into all these spots to speed and slow down the auto scroll. Rayman 3 GBA, he can't swim too? You're right. Dang. Killed everything. Is there actually water in that game? I feel like they only have lava. Alright, that was the power to double jump. I'm sure you all didn't see me hang. I'm double jumping. Well, Rayman 3 GBA also is like a spin-off. Oh right, there is water, but it's swampy water. With piranhas. There you go, that's my reasoning now. Swampy water. Poison water. In this game, anything can kill you as long as it's looks like water. So now we got another auto scroll. The auto scrolls kind of die out, like right after Mr. Stone Peaks. The last auto scroll we'll be doing is Gong Heights for like another like 5-ish or a lot of levels. You don't do a lot of auto scrolls near the end of the game. In fact, there's only one screen with a pseudo auto scroll. You're closer to the end of the game. And so you got like, I don't know, 40 minutes of no auto scrolling, so that's pretty cool. The game gets really fast near the end because all the power-ups complement each other. Also, the game looks beautiful. I don't know if I said that already, but I gotta say it again. Gotta. So now we have probably the first really hard screen in the game to learn, and kind of deadly. So we're gonna jump here, hit this plum, hit it again, and then get knocked back, because getting damage boosted facing left will get you knocked back to the right typically. Alright. That's a new trick, by the way. Normally you would jump on that flower and jump on the swinging plum to hit the plum and then knock it down. But the way I did it saves about a cycle. It's pretty good. But the plums are really inconsistent sometimes. I've failed a couple recordings with that plum. It only saves like 3 seconds. That was really close. But I really do want to show it off because it is new. This is slightly new as well. I'm going to actually stop here for a moment and walk off it instead of waiting for it to go down and jump, and it won't hang. I said it. I lied. There's no double jump, guys. It's just hanging ability. There are also, like, for normal platforms, you can hang on them, but for things like events, as they call them, such as this plum, you can't hang on them. Also included is clouds, bongo drums, maracas, all events. Pretty much anything you can't hang on is usually an event. I lied? Where'd I lie? Oh yeah, I lied about hanging. The jig's up, man. Force is really slow, but once we get into bongo, like every single cage has its own skip in some way. It's pretty neat. Oh no. I'm scaring people away with my lies. Alright, plum skip, come on. Another thing to note about plums is that they have varying heights. Like, you get a low jump from the plum if you're standing on it, but a high jump if it's just itself. Nothing's standing on top of it, see? Now I'm letting go, so it's going high. That was used to manipulate plum skip right there. And there are a lot of platforms in this game that are semi-solid for some reason. You'll see that, hopefully, at the end of this screen. But for now, we have to try to get early cycles done. Come on, early cycles. This is a series of movements that manipulate the camera to spawn these beautiful-looking platforms, so I can get these 4 cycles right there. Nice. I got him. And there's another camera manip coming up, but it's not the same. I'm gonna turn left Also to note, these little red platforms, walking along them is slightly faster than walking because we're both moving forward. There we go. And that will make this plum be right here for me. Oops. Well, that wasn't what I wanted. Alright, and here's the inconsistent plum of that kills runs, potentially. Okay, well, you didn't see it from me. I'll tell you that much. You can jump through the platform right here. If you punch the cage at the same time. And that saves quite a bit, but it's really hard to do because the plum never appreciates it. The plum has to hit one of these slanted corners and then drop down going forward, so that works. But instead this time it just fell through both platforms corners and just went straight to the water, which makes that pretty impossible. So this is another auto scroll. It's slightly faster. I actually can vine boost into the right camera and that kills me. So I don't want to be exactly ahead of it. I want to be a little behind, so I vine boost, as you see. That's actually a really easy way to tell as a non-runner if I'm actually getting any extra speed off of the vines. You saw I was behind and then I was really closer to the end. This screen's pretty simple. I missed that one. I really want to get all the things I can so I can get an extra life before my first death abuse. So I have 71 now, which means I'm good. We have another boss fight. His name is Mosquito instead of Bzz this time. He's a little more... He has completely different moves, but he also has his regular moves. But now he throws around all these plums to fight me with. And he tries to hide on the left corner because he's moody and wants me to die. I can't see it over his boss health bar. So we're actually not going to punch him right now. We're going to let him jump over us because then he gives us a better cycle to hit him twice in a row. We don't have to have that whole wait for him to come from this corner all the way over to that corner kind of deal. He's going to drop down here, which is normal, but then he's going to drop down again right there. And then the rest goes as normal. Actually, when he comes from the middle, from the bottom here, it's actually slightly faster to have him get hit here rather than like right here, where if he was coming out from the top-ish, or oh crap, I forgot about that one. That was my fault. So the last hit, he's just gonna go up it straight, so it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna hit him immediately. Did I hit something? Oh! He's dead. I wonder what happened. He actually stops you, forces you to stand next to him if you're not ducking. So I just ducked and crawled forward so I could step on his beautiful eyes. So now we're gonna get the power to grab rings. Rings are broken. And you'll see why in a second. I haven't talked about it yet, but there's a thing called speed locking. And it allows me to do things like this. Totally ignore all the rings. You don't ever get that kind of speed in the game outside of slippery platforms. Speed locking is basically I hold up and no other directional button. It's hard, it's pretty simple. And it'll allow us to do a lot of skips. Dang it. a lot of skips later in the game, or even like Bongo Hills itself has literally, if not for the speed locking, you would have to do this whole stage over, and it's the longest stage in the game. Otherwise, oh, that was what I wanted. There we go, getting deboosted backwards. So I didn't talk about it, but fist boosting in this game. Actually, I'll leave that for Allegro. So what I did to get that cage is actually a skip. They expect you to go about to the middle of the stage and then go backwards, and it'll spawn a bunch of clouds which bring you to the trigger that spawns that cage. So we essentially did that thing backwards. So now we have the second trick right here. That basically what I did was I fell off the cloud. I knocked myself back onto a different cloud by deboosting the opposite direction. And then jump on that cloud so I can pass myself through the spikes while I still had the damage. Well, I still had the iframes, I should say. Otherwise, you would have to jump over this goalpost right here, and it would spawn a cloud which would take you to the cage. And that's actually slower than killing yourself to try to do the trick again. So what I have here is, we're going to be doing 2 zips, and they're exclusive to this stage. I just did the first one, it's the less impressive one. Basically, what I do is, I'm gonna jump on the maraca while on the corner of a platform. Right above said platform. Also, I just died. That's my first death abuse of the run. Alright, so jump on the corner, both corners, basically. Have to be on the corner of the platform while on the corner of the maraca. And if I duck here, I'll be able to clip right through here, and it zips me to the top. Shouldn't say clip, zips me. I think we do 9 death abuses in all. I don't remember if that's with the new death abuse or not. Another deboost backwards. So this is the ring that otherwise, if not for speed locking, this would not be. This would actually require some sort of crazy 1-frame tricks to do without having to do Bongo all over again. The stage is very, very long. Yo, it's bacon. All pretty simple stuff here. Just kind of walk forward. Lightning eyes are scary, but not that scary. Another skip coming up here. The game normally wants you to go on the chocoballs, turn small, and then go under down there to the bottom left that you saw. There was a small gap that small Rayman can do, because fairies that you haven't seen yet, because we don't like that, because small Rayman's slow. So instead, we just jump through here. This very short hop allows us to get that cage. Then we death abuse. So yeah, this game has a lot of death abuse and a lot of damage boosting. So, this game's one of the harder games out there. We're basically risking all our lives all the time to survive. All of our lives and health to do all the best skips. It sounds really scary, but once you know the game inside out, it gets a lot easier. That's the fairy there. Would turn us small. You'll see small Rayman later, but for now we can avoid him, which is a good thing. That one you didn't even have to do anything important. The first choco ball, you could actually get hit by the wrong notes below you, and they kill you because they knock you off the choco ball. But in that one, you could just duck. Another cage down here. One thing I haven't talked about much is jump punches. Jump punches, as you see here, give you a lot more height than just a regular punch. As you saw, didn't give me much of anything. They're stronger and faster and give more length. I guess I shouldn't say faster. I don't think they are faster. And more length than your average punch. It makes sure you don't have to charge punch, which takes 5 seconds to do. 3 seconds, I should say. So, in most circumstances in the speedrun, jump punching is the superior option. You'll see charge fists a couple times at best, and normal punches are pretty much useless, except in very, very rare circumstances. Usually with spaghetti. This screen doesn't have any cages, we just get to the end. You can actually jump over that goalpost and fall into that gap all the way back to the bottom. So now upcoming is Allegro Presto, which we call Fastland, or I call Fastland. No one else does. It's super fast. Oh, I forgot to press the button. Whoops. So we got the worst trick in the game here. Oh, I got it. Nice. That's actually a one-frame trick that last time I recorded this took me 3 minutes, so I'd probably never do this in a marathon run more than a couple times. And that just skipped a bunch of stuff. It also made sure I didn't have enough things to save myself if I lose a lot of HP in the next stage. Let's get the other clip here. This one's easier. Just do a short hop with a good amount of speed, but not too much speed. A very short hop, I should say. Oops. Okay. Just let it happen. There we go. And we got the trumpet cage coming up, which is very precise. Okay, well, better than nothing. You can do that without getting hit there. Fist boost. Something I haven't talked about yet is fist boosting. Fist boosting, basically, on slippery platforms, punching with Rayman will propel you in the opposite direction. So we use charging up fairly liberally to speed us up in slippery sections. You'll see that in the next stage. Not this one. This one's actually one of the slower stages. It's got more platforming. But not every stage is as fast as Allegro. This is the first time you'll see Small right here. As you can see, it's so slow it makes me want to cry. That's why we try to avoid it whenever possible. We don't get to avoid it as much near the end of the game. But we do get to avoid it once. This is probably the first level where, like, anybody who's actually kind of good at games would start to have real problems, is Allegro Presto. Allegro Presto is usually where runs die. If it wasn't Bongo, it was Allegro Presto. For casual. This game is a lot harder casually than speedrun-wise, IMO. Just saying something. I mean, just to get it, like, a time. Just, like, knowing the route makes the game easier. Which I guess is normal for a speedrun. But anyway, we're gonna clip through here. That'll allow us to skip half of the stage. And here is a prime fist boost. Whew. Allows us to do all this fast. Pretty cool. Should just compare to average. my PB is a little too strong. So now we got the power to hover with our hair. This will allow us to do plenty of things, like go fast. Because speed locking doesn't just work with rings. It works with pretty much anything. As long as you're holding up, you'll retain the speed that you had. So it's pretty essential to get to getting good times. Like, see right here, I'm gonna use the rings in a very in a very interesting way. Like that, kind of. I could have gone a little further than that. Holding up there is what keeps me having that speed. If I pressed right at any point in that, it would have removed all of it. It would have just gone the normal walking speed that you normally go when going off of a ring. World record run? Nah. I'm trying to beat the game. So now we have our new pal, Mr. Stone. Rayman 1 likes to show off the bosses before you actually meet them. So now we have Mr. Stone here. Earlier we saw Mr. Saxon at the end of Allegro, but we're never fighting him. A weak and death abuse in his stage, which allows us to avoid having to kill him, and they don't count towards the 100% in the game save file. Only cages. How you doing, by the way, Mouth? So now we're gonna use speed locking to the full force. I actually hold down there instead of up, because that actually, for some reason, helps you get knocked back higher than doing ups. Holding up. And yes, you could hold down instead of up to speed lock, but holding down just feels a lot more awkward. Is this a good run? It's better than my average. By a whole minute. So obviously it's a good run, right? Another death abuse. How you doing, by the way, Lord Pickle? Not much to say about this. There's actually two end signs in this screen. One is if you kept going on that auto scroll, and the other actually is like at the end of that auto scroll. You can go in another cloud and it'll take you over here, but we can just drop down and do a speed lock off of one of the rings. Uh-oh. Ara, did you get a PB? Or did you die to everything? That'd be unfortunate. Like, that's one of the, right here is one of those things that where it becomes crazy that you have to actually stand in that one spot past the P to spawn a cloud to get up here. This was probably the only cage kept blind that I couldn't figure out when I was younger. And by younger I mean back when I was a kid. I didn't actually care whether or not I was going fast. I mean checking like wikis for blind runs. I can say that I did not actually beat this game 100% blind, because I looked for that cage in a wiki. So yeah, more damage boosting. You died on the screen? Dang. Right, jump here, didn't work. You could grab that without getting hit by that spike, but it's actually super hard. Just getting hit twice, dang. Ow. Crap, that's a lot more than I wanted to take. Died to everything. Love the theme of this world. This is my Mr. Stone's theme is my favorite theme, and then after that is Mr. Sax. And then after that is the first stage's music. So we're doing another death abuse on this screen. We actually have to come up here and drop down to spawn a cage that we would have already passed, like right to the bottom left of us. Do a short jump there. Once we hang, will allow us to get back on that ledge. Didn't even get hit by the cloud. My controller randomly stops. Right for a split second. Dang. That sucks. So, wait, oh. For some reason I was really confused there, but I shouldn't have been. So one thing to note about these clouds is actually that these clouds are very inconsistent unless you hover before you land on them. If you're hovering when you land on them. That'll allow you to get a lot of height. The only other variable to getting even more height than that would be to press jump when you let go of it earlier rather than later. So, boomerang effect comes into full force here. The punch moves forward while you're dropping down, and you can just hit that while you're going down and the cage spawns. Normally, you'd go to the left-ish, and it would spawn some clouds to let you get back up, but you can just punch forward. So now we have our water level equivalent coming up. We're going to have the power to fly infinitely here. So speed locking is important here because we need to go fast, and this thing goes really slow. So I actually want to get the fastest frame on this helicopter and speed lock. And that kind of requires muscle memory to figure out correctly. Because it's not always consistent, like I didn't get it right there. I very rarely get it in that specific instance for some reason. Oh, I was really close to getting past that. Ow. Getting hit too much. Don't die. Oh boy. Don't get hit, don't get hit, don't get hit. No! That's my P-orb! I need that really bad. Game, give it to me. Alright, and then we get our speed lock here. That's good. Because otherwise you'd be going really, really slow. It's a pretty bad screen. That's like 10 seconds slower than my world record run. Alright, and then we have a very interesting take on auto scrolls here. We actually have water below us sinking, but this ceiling here actually sinks faster than the water. So you have to cut the rope with your hair to spawn, to make this stop. Like the room thing? So now I'm at, like I said, boomerang comes into full force in the last screen, but now it like really comes to full force. Because you can hit things while the fist comes back towards you. You can only hit one thing per punch, but here we go. I'm gonna wait here and it's gonna knock back that thing. I don't have to go down to get that cage. Like the rope thing, that's one of the more memorable moments in the game for me. That trick I did earlier is actually only available if you do this. If you have slow fist, and the routing generally supports you having slow fist at all times with the death abuses. Another thing to note, you can move up the camera in this game by holding up, and that actually helps with the auto scrolls triggering them. When you trigger the auto scrolls, it's based on your location as said in the earlier game. So I'm actually gonna hold up here, and that actually makes, when the auto scroll triggers when I jump, it actually, me holding up is slightly faster than the auto scroll moving up on its own. So that's just a small optimization in between the first one from the earlier auto scroll and this one. it saves about a second, but it's still kind of neat. Small little optimization. This guy's a butt. You always have to wait here or he's gonna hit you, I swear. Some more recoil fist boosting coming up here. Nice. Now I'm gonna recoil boost in the next section a little bit more peculiarly, not to get speed, but to get the correct position to avoid 2 triggers. Because all of the next 4 small platforms actually spawn. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. I'll just do it the slow way. And to note, icy platforms do not move you every which way if you're standing in neutral position without moving left or right. So that's how I was able to do those stone things without having to, like, work hard. To go against the slippery platforms. We don't need 1-ups. We're good at video games. So now we have Mr. Stone. He's actually an insanely slow boss, casually, but he becomes the fastest and most interesting if you do it the speedrun way. And there was a couple optimizations since 2016 with how this works. I'm actually going to get this P early. I mean late, very late. And hit it so that we actually can avoid the 4th hit completely. And this strat makes like a 5-minute boss fight. Like, oh, I missed that Z. Dang, that sucks. This makes it like a 1-minute boss fight if I hadn't messed that up. But good news, I actually can save this, and it only loses a couple seconds. If I hover here and let him shoot that laser, the cloud actually still spawns, because otherwise it wouldn't spawn if I hit it too early. And this allows me to hit him a second time. Normally it would have ended at that first hit, because I would have jumped off of the zigzagging meteor instead. Alright, now we get the power to run, guys. Woo! Everyone high five. It's a speed run now. We're gonna go to a good level, but fast now. Because now it's fast. We're revisiting all the stages now that we did not get cages in. Because basically every stage we don't get them in is faster if we do just have run. I want to see if I get the task strat. It's not even really a task strat, but it requires a frame-perfect jump. Let's see if I get it. I don't have to get it. Oh, I want to. Just do it normal. Let's try it, though. Oh, never mind. Doesn't matter. We didn't need to do it fast anyway. I actually don't even know if it's faster. In any event, it would have made this easier. This ring right here has killed many humans. Patients, I should say, not their lives. But potentially their lives. Alright, now we have Gong Heights. This stage is really scary. There's no reason to die in it, but dying in it is scary because it's all over a pit. there's no checkpoints. Not that I ever get checkpoints. If you were curious what the checkpoints were, they're the photographers that I get sometimes when I do death abuses every now and then. Those are the checkpoints of the game. And so I'm using the hovering off of clouds to full force here so I can get good heights. Running from below it and jumping into it also is a little faster. Oops. I think I messed it up by doing it a little differently. Okay, it's fine. Alright, we're fine. That was a little impromptu about midway, because the way I ran made the local cycles a little awkward at the cage, the last cage in that screen. So I just got a fist boost. We actually need that fist boost all the way up until Eraser Plains, which it comes after, or comes right after we do all the revisits. And there are a lot of revisits, and there are a lot of death abuses. So you might be wondering how I'm gonna keep this fist boost. We actually need 2 fist power-ups, because there's 3 levels of speed to a fist. By the way, this is our last auto-scroll. There's level 2 speed, which maxes out the height. Level 1, which increases your speed and your height, or your distance, I should say, not height. And then level 3 just increases your speed of your fist, not necessarily your height, your distance. So I need level 2 fist to do a 50-50 RNG cage trick in Eraser Plains' 3rd screen. So I'm going to actually be death abusing the next screen to avoid fighting Mr. Sax, because we are now at the end of Banland. Let's see if I could get the IL route. Why not? I figured I might as well try. Oh, right through that. So one thing I haven't talked about is speed storage. Speed locking, which I'm about to do right now. Speed storage, actually, I was right first time. I don't know if you noticed, but I just ran off of those 2 things at a really high speed, which isn't normal. That's because of a term, speed storage. Basically, I'm storing my speed by running off of these slippery platforms, and then running off of one of the events. Which stores the speed at the later frames of an event, which allows me to get all the speed from when I was on the slippery platform. It also works on rings, but there are a few limitations. One, if you are in the rolling animation before you unleash speed storage, you will reset it. So I can't jump onto an event. I have to walk off of an event. Also clipping. Come on, thanks. 2, it has to be facing the direction. You can only unleash speed source in the direction you are facing when you stored the speed. So I'm going to store it right here. I'm only going to be able to use it when I'm going forward. Jump onto this. Get knocked back. Even knockback doesn't actually change your speed storage. You can actually get the rolling animation on these. You don't want to, because it'll reset it. And then another limitation is you cannot hit a wall, because that'll reset speed storage. Running off of a platform will also make you fall off the platform with rolling, which will reset the speed storage. So why this is important is it'll allow us to not have to do Plum Skip 2.0. The original Plum Skip, I should say, not 2.0. Which is one of the most inconsistent tricks ever. And it works across, as you can see. I stored the speed at the end of Sax. It allowed me to store the speed all the way until this screen. It works across the world map. It actually even works across save files. It's pretty crazy. And we're going to be because of all those limitations, we can only use it one more time in the run. I basically used up all my chances to use it in Mr. Sax, and other than that, we'll only use it one more time. I wanted to hit that cage, not hit you. The reason why we do speed storage off of slippery platforms instead of rings is because rings only give you half the speed to unleash it off of speed storage that it actually like uses. So you would get a lot slower speed off of doing it the ring way. It's not as consistent. We're almost nearing the end of the revisits now. Then we're going to be moving on to the hard stages. We're going to get all the cages in every stage from here on out. It's all fastness. Oops. So we're getting our second fist power up in the next screen, and that'll allow us to do the 50-50 cage. So you might be wondering why exactly am I able to keep my fist power-ups, even though I killed myself like 5 times. How you doing, Steph? The answer to that is, if you go through a return sign, return signs are at the beginning of every first screen of a level. So here's the fist boost. If you go through a return sign, you will actually be able to get all of your fist power-ups back. You'll actually get all your tings back, although if you died beforehand, you'll lose a life coming back through a return sign, so that it balances out, so you don't get infinite lives. And it won't keep your HP from your P orb if you died. If you died and you got a P orb, it will not. But if you had a P orb, it'll keep it if you go through a return sign. So we actually are gonna death abuse right here coming up and go back through a return sign to keep our fists. You got a new job, nice. Don't worry, you're at the fastest part of the run. So Eraser Plains is a big, deadly stage. You don't want to die in Eraser Plains 1 because it's scary and it snowballs really easily. If you fail it once, you'll fail it more than once. It's probably the most athletic stage in the game, besides Gong Heights. Let's get there early. Ah, man. It's all across a low ceiling and a death pit. Oh, come on. Or at least it didn't die. That's a good thing. When I was younger, you thought Bandland, Eraser Plains and Bandland were the same. What? That's crazy. This doesn't look anything like it. If I had died on that last screen, I probably would have gone through the return sign again and lost some time to still do the 50-50 cage. Doing it the normal way loses a lot of time. Oop. Yeah, you don't want to get hit on the screen either. I'm going to be doing 2 damage abuses on the next screen after the 50-50 cage. So, foregoing one isn't really optimal, to say the least. They both save time. And they're both... One of them, you just can't do if you have 1 health. The first one. Second one you can do without 1 health, but that's risky. Very risky. Alright, here we go. I'm gonna turn left, and I'm gonna stand on the left side of this. It'll clip me here. Allow me to get this without having to do it in a more awkward position the game originally intends you to. This one here, you would normally have to go through this whole section, and it's actually really tough. Unless you're good like me. Ooh, that was close. I don't know why that happens. If I fell down in that pit, it would take forever to get back out. I call it the pit of time loss. Yeah, I don't want to lose any more health than I already have. I did the first one to go slightly faster through that section, but any more taking hits than I have right now, and I won't be able to do all the skips coming up on the next boss. So, no more hits. If I do get hit, that actually saves me from doing the soft lock hit, though, and I don't mind that too much. Truna Money, thank you for the follow. Alright, I didn't get hit. Yeah! 2 days ago and you got 181 followers since then? What happened? It's crazy. So now we have Viking Mama. Viking Mama is a Viking. I don't know if you could tell. She's got a rubbery boat. Viking stuff on it. Like bandages and floaty tubes. And pirates. That's probably the first form of RNG in the whole run besides Eraser Plains 3 is this bomb pirate. It doesn't really lose time. But 50-50 Cage does. So the reason why we want to have all of her HP is because this attack that she's doing right now, you actually can't hit her normally. But if we get knocked back and it gives us enough height, we'll actually be able to hit her head. Her head is her weak spot. She's vulnerable basically only during her attacks. And the last hit that we'll do like that actually can soft lock you if you don't do it in a specific way. Also, you can just stand under this, even though it looks really close and goes right through my hitbox. Seems good. We'll be seeing more of her again later. Don't worry, guys. I know you love those luscious lips, but we're gonna be getting out of here quick. Here we go. Run, wait a second, punch as the last sword has to be shooting outwards. It can't be spinning, and it can't be off screen yet. And if you hit it while it's getting darted, you won't soft lock. Otherwise, you won't raise your hands. Your hands won't get raised. And you'll just listen to the victory music for the rest of your life. If that's your thing. I don't judge. Fun fact, if I get to the end of the screen without... and I let the music run out, it won't loop. That hunter, though. Alright, I'm gonna hang on this so that I get the right speed for that. Not the right speed, but the right angle to get onto the yin-yang ball. It's actually fast. I know it's hard to believe going fast in a speedrun. No way. when I do those things off of the rings where I just get the height and hit it a million times, it's actually just me holding down the punch and jump button at the same time. I didn't get the speed lock off of the earlier parts, but that's fine. As long as I get pencilless. My bad. Ah, come on. Oh, never mind. And get pencilless. You need to speed lock immediately to get pencilless. Basically. And I kind of dunked it with the way I did it. But hey, let's see if I can get the cycle. The fast cycle. I shouldn't say fast cycle. You have to do this part so fast, you have to do it basically perfectly to avoid getting hit by this anti-tune that's down there. And I didn't do it fast, so I'm not going to avoid it. You can seriously jump, like right here, and not get hit by the anti-tune. It's really hard. I've only gotten it a couple times. Without having to wait for it, of course, and punch it. What do I estimate? Like, if I get this into if I submit this run and go into GDQ, it'll be like, I don't know, a 130. I never get 130s. It'll always be better than 130. Alright. Bouncy skip coming up. Nope. Didn't get it. Okay, fair enough. Basically, I want to, like, hover in the right spot so to avoid I can go through the gaps, like, right above, right to the left here of me. That allows me to just go and get the cage immediately. But it's super precise and easy to choke. I had a little extra speed there. I think I accidentally did speed surge at the end there. Not that it helps, actually, at all. It actually slowed me down slightly. So, for those who couldn't get past this as a kid, you're actually supposed to walk slide off of that, and it'll line up perfectly. If you run off it, it won't work. Here's the leap of faith. Do a low jump right there. Gets you straight to the end. I could have jumped a little less short. Would have let me not have to hang there. But that's fine. Now we have Space Mom's Crater. Arguably the hardest level to optimize with alongside Allegro. The stage can go choke a chicken sandwich. But it's also really cool. We're going to be doing the infamous Stormer skip now. We're also going to try to get first try cage. First cycle cage, I guess, too. It might be called, I don't know. Alright, so basically I'm going to go on here, hang. I'm going to get a tether off of this. Jump. I'm going to hover and hit it. Punch. Hit punch basically when my hair lines up with the top yin yang ball's mouth. Allows me to hit that cage. Yeah, there is a very cruel end sign right there. Alright, let's see how long it takes me to get Stormer Skip. I hope I get it first try. That'd be cool. There's a lot going into doing Stormer Skip correctly. That wouldn't have worked. Nope. Crap. Alright, got it fourth try, I guess. That stinks. But hey, at least I got it. Got to show it off. I don't have a lot of health now. Uh-oh. The difference between PC and PS1 is actually really heavy. The cage locations are entirely different. A lot of minor things are very different too. Oh crap. Don't die, don't die, don't die. Like, the PC run, because of the cages, is a good number of minutes slower. It doesn't have ground clips, so you can't do most of the clips in PC. You actually do in fact have Scops' return sign is there. In PS1 it's not. So you don't fight Mr. Scops in PC, but you do in PS1. On the speedrun specifically. Some of the screen is smaller on PC. By the way, the speed storage was only found like, I don't know, like 6 months ago, so this is all new stuff. This one allows me to skip a cycle on this, but I messed it up. Come on. But yeah, PC is entirely different. Like, even some strats don't work just because it's PC and the screen's smaller, or things are closer to you, or you can't see above you. Things spawn earlier because the screen's smaller, so the local cycles are different. Or the fact that Viking Mama's swords can actually hurt you if they go on the ground, and even if you duck. A lot of stuff is different. I don't like the reason why I hate PC's version compared to the PS1 specifically is because the music doesn't vary itself. It starts with the same track at the beginning and then branches out to the other tracks. So if you want to listen to all the tracks, you actually have to not go fast. Otherwise, you'll normally just hear the first track of the game, of each area, the whole time, and I don't appreciate it. That's a new strat right there, spawning the ring and punching it. Normally you would drop down after you trigger it. There's actually a cycle skip that we made up that stops us from having to wait for the sharpener when we spawn the cage ring and rings up there, but alright, this is Space Mama. She's a bud. I mean, she has a bud. You never see it, but it's there. I think I just messed up getting 4 hits on her. Okay, I didn't. You can actually, it actually can like not give you a 4th hit here if you don't do it fast enough. But anyway, since Rayman, since last time this was run at GDQ, we did not do this double deboost. I mean double hits. Basically, we're actually turning her around at that specific moment so that she can run out of iframes fast enough for us to hit her a second time before she does another drop up and then hit her again. Altogether, if you get all of them, it saves about 16 seconds. This is still the longest fight in the game. Hands down. I guess unless you include Mr. Dark's first phase. This is still way longer though. If you die at the end of this, it's like you lose like 3 minutes. And yes, it is another boss we damage abuse for. There are a lot of bosses we do a lot. Like pretty much every boss we damage abuse, besides the first one. And I guess the last one. Right when she shoots out her lasers, like a split second after she shoots out the laser, the hitboxes on her lighten up and you can stand up in between her body and her rolling pin. And so you want to hit the laser, the washing machine, right as this laser right there shoots out. Not like immediately after you see it get shot, but like a little bit after, like now. And she has, that washing machine can hit you. So I actually let her start her animation here so I don't have to wait through the whole animation when I hit her. Then this one, she actually can be done the double hits without a damage abuse because she shoots out 2 lasers there. Perfect fight. This is a run killer. This stage is the definitive run killer. And we just made it harder with the damage abuse here. A death abuse, which was only learned like last month. Alright. Here's the crazy ring strat coming up. Nice, I got it. Not much to say. You just gotta speed lock through this again. When I go across that ring there, it spawns the cage. More speed locking. Right through. And that initiates the end of the stage. It's so, like, on a good pace, it's so easy to mess up ring strats. It's crazy. Under pressure. Also, I didn't want to take that hit. I'm gonna go for the 1-up. Yeah, 1-up, please. I'm gonna be doing another damage abuse. It's actually really tough, this one, because you gotta do like really specific inputs to make it work correctly. So let's try it. Whee! Nice. And it allows us to just get up here other than having to go all the way around. So nice, I got those anti-tunes for once. Fun fact, these spikes right here are insta-death. If you somehow manage to walk off of them, they will kill you instantly. Alright, new trick coming up. Hopefully I get it anyway. I'm gonna despawn this platform here. Coming up right now. See that platform? You walk down it normally. But I'm not gonna. Oh no, never mind. I did a misinput. You can actually jump up there, wait it out for a little bit, and then fall off. And it will allow you to, it'll just despawn before it, like a little bit before it drops down. It saves like a second or something. I golded? Nice. So yeah, that was just like 40 seconds of us waiting. Eda Joe's is a crazy stage. First off, dark screen. The light follows your fist, as you see. But as long as you know the stage layout, it doesn't really matter. The stage is fairly short. The screen, I mean. This stage is hardest stage in the game casually, for sure. Ow. Oh my god. There we go. Nice. I'm gonna wait actually at this wall over here for these stakes that just passed by to move a little bit forward, because if you go too fast, they will hit you as you're going up this little shaft. Ow, everything's hitting me. Yeah, you have to jump towards that wall to spawn that cage there. So now we have the Rings of Evil. In casual play, this is a nightmare, and this could take you upwards hours to get correct, but oh crap. Punched the wrong way. But as long as we get a good tether and a nice speed lock, we'll always get it. I mean, I shouldn't say always. It's still one of the choke points. Let's see if I could get the clip here. Nice, clip. That's still, as usual, pixel perfect. Feels good, man. New strat here. We're gonna punch there and fail this. You can actually hit that as you spawn the cage, like right where I am right now. And while the fist is in the hitbox, and it'll hit the cage for you. New strat also coming up, the crouch. Jump here, crouch here, and you don't even get like a damage abuse animation. You get even knocked back for that matter. I thought it was really cool when I learned it, when I figured it out myself. Feels good, man. I can only ever find 1 second time saves. So now we have turned on Mr. Joe's electricity for his Eat a Joe's burger joint. He is a happy camper. His electric allows us to get back up. This is the pseudo autoscroll I was referring to earlier. Maybe in a different recording, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I did though. It has some minor time saves, if anything. Take note to be like facing rightward, so that those blue platforms don't spawn awkwardly. And that'll very often kill you. Speed lock here. It's about the best time save you can get, really. Yeah, one up. Go there, spawns the cage. And now we go back to see Joe because we're out of the place. Fun fact: that whole section is actually below the second screen after the dark screen of the screen after the dark screen of Eat a Joe's. You can actually see it from like a real map of the whole stage. It's exactly like that. Just below it and not populated with anything. And same thing for that screen. Eat a Joe's second screen is above it and not populated in anything. Something you can only really see with TAS. The screen killed like everyone ever as a kid. Pretty sure no one passed it. Let's be real. Anyone else who tells you that is a liar. Tells you otherwise, I mean. Alright. This screen is all high fastness. This is also another choking point. All the cages are on this one screen. This is the only screen up until Mr. Scops here, which is why PC avoids him, because they actually have a return sign on this screen. Eat a Joe's and this screen, and then Mr. Dark are the only screens in the game that don't have return signs, fun fact. Get hit, get hit, get hit. Thank you. Oh god, don't get hit by the water. Nice, I got the red platforms. These red platforms can be very finicky and kill runs as well. they don't cooperate ever. But they cooperated now, and that's all that matters. So this is Scops. Say hi. This isn't actually another pseudo auto scroll. This first screen, it can be really butts, or it could not be really butts. Fortunately for me, I'm good when he does his RNG platforms. Sometimes he could drop the right platform, and you can't do a specific glitch that I won't be doing here. I'm gonna show off how to do him fast, casually. You can punch him, and he'll get knocked back. So you want to be in a neutral position when you jump off. Punch him and then hover, so that you have all the leeway you need. Instead of having to hang, which is much harder in my opinion, and slower. The glitch way would have been to damage abuse into him when he moved backwards, and it would respawn the first red platform to the left. But that also requires me to take a damage abuse. And I want to have all the health I can get going into Mr. Dark. So this is not an auto scroll. You can actually do a task strat here, but it's way too hard. Basically, you can actually skip those claw cycles here, where he shoots his thing out. If you hit the orb, like, at the last second when he starts his claw animation, you can stop him from doing that by moving him into the next cycle. But I've never been able to find a route to do that RTA. Otherwise, you can literally do this with just one, like, jump, hover, punch. You know, it's pretty easy. I think originally this was in the early stages. This was actually meant to be the first boss of the game. But hey, I like the boss. At least it's fast. It was one of the more iconic things to look at in the demo when I was a kid. Nice gold by 5. Dang. So now we have the dreaded pan screen. Oh boy, the pan screen. But luckily I know how to go fast. So, whatever. No! I died. That was my first death the whole run, man. I misinputted. That was my fault. I apologize. It could have been a deathless recording. Well, without intentional deaths. Feels bad, man. Well, the fact that I got through this whole recording of a no reset with only dying at the end of the game is pretty cool in itself. I don't know why I got that one up. I don't have any health to refill. But whatever. That's like that one up is a safety because we're actually going to be doing a damage abuse coming up in the next screen, which is very, very inconsistent. But I mean, I died, so it doesn't matter. Whoops. So this cloud right up here can sometimes just not let you land on it. So you don't want to be like on a side you can't do it, and then Dark Rayman can hit you. I haven't said anything about Dark Rayman, but basically he follows all your movements to a T. And much like a doppelganger you meet in real life, if you touch him, you kill him, and you get killed too. You both die. But if I just go fast and move forward, you'll never encounter him. Now, Mr. Dark has switched our left and right inputs to backwards. So left is right and right is left. This is a clown skip. That was what I was talking about earlier with the damage abuse. Luckily, he let me do it perfectly. Sometimes he could the other day I actually did this and he didn't let me do it for 5 or 10 like a couple deaths actually. It was pretty surreal because it never happened before. Usually you always get it within the first like 1 to 2 or 3 tries at best. So now we have Mr. Dank. He's now he's stopped our inputs, and now the only button that works is the run button. So he actually removes our power to hang too. See if I get this jump. Nice. You have to do it completely late off of the end of that platform to get that jump over the other platform. And it's really scary to do at the end of a run. So now we fight Mr. Dark. He's actually taken away our power to use fists on the previous screen when he gave us back our ability to use our other inputs. He took away my ability alone to use fists, and he's taken it, and it's right up there. Give it back to me, man. I need it. In any event, now he's making us just kind of like go through an auto-scroll. Actually, you only have, according to the task runners, you only have 10 iframes, 10 frames of invincibility on these specific fireballs. So you can potentially get comboed into death if you do it at a bad time, if you get hit at a bad time. So now he's telling us about how doomed we are. So apparently we're doomed, Rayman. But luckily, the two anti-tunes that we spawned out of the 102 cages, only 2 of them come and save me. I thought they were more than that. Yeah, you can just combo lock these. So the last phase of this, we don't even fight Mr. Dark, but instead we got this other monstrosity. And the best part is that it has frame perfect double hits. Not double hits, you can multi-hit him and like never have to see him jump. More than him dropping down the first time. But I mean, it's hard, man. Hey, I mean, that was a good run. 122.17. Holy moly. Way better than my average. But yeah, never see Mr. Dark again. Haven't seen him in any game since. Where'd he go? But we saved the world. And that was pretty fun. But yeah, this game is really cool, man. Like, from my opinion, it has a good healthy amount of glitches. It's got a good amount of pacing, especially in like after the first world. It gets really fast near the end. All high octane. It's got a good amount of precision, like optimization. It's got a good amount of dynamics to all the things, like hitting walls, or doing a late jump off of a cloud, or hovering off of before I hit a cloud, or doing the tether boosts. Like, the rings are the best part in terms of dynamics. They're just super versatile, and routing them is really cool sometimes. Like, I can't speak for myself because I didn't route any ring tricks myself, but like trying to figure out a cool way to do the rings fast, something else, man. Like, I prefer to do the Crystal Palace way with doing it backwards and holding down the jump and punch button to make the rings like beam me up a bit. But you can do it other ways too, like doing it forward and jump punching off of every ring coming up instead of doing it the way I do it. There's just so much stuff, and it's not hard. Like, you just hold up to speed lock. Come on, guys. It's just, that's it. But like, it's got cool stuff in it, and I recommend it to anyone who can beat the game.